FARSIGHTED, in the FARSIGHTED series, Book 1, by Emlyn Chand. For Mom, thank you for all the bedtime stories. I hope you'll enjoy this one. A note to readers. You are about to embark on a journey along with the characters in this novel. At the beginning of each chapter, you'll find a rune and a corresponding prophecy. When taken in precise order, the runes tell the story of a hero's journey from unassuming Feyu, to battle-weary Opila. Alex's story follows the same proud trajectory. Put your powers of divination to the test by trying to predict what each chapter holds based on the hints provided. Conversely, you may choose to ignore the runic prophecies altogether and dive right into the story. Either way, happy travels. Though thou standest on fate's fine edge, if thou wouldest learn the meaning of my words, heed the warnings of mine art. Spoken by Tiresias in Sophocles. Sophocles' Antigone. I don't even know what that says. Right. And Chapter 1. Our hero is about to embark on a journey. Life as he knows it is quiet, boring, and predictable, but it's also comforting and familiar. That will be soon changed.
Speech on. Duration. 3 minutes. New recording full. Card overlay. Half screen. Card overlay. New stop. Button. Stop. Button. Stop. Duration. New record. Card overlay. Card overlay. Dimmed. New stop. Button.
Alright. Chapter 1. Today is the last day of summer, but I'm not doing anything even remotely close to fun. I'm just lying here in Mom's garden, running my hand over the spiky blades of grass, back and forth, until my fingertips go numb, until everything goes numb. I sigh, but no one's around to hear. "Alex!" Dad yells from the kitchen window. "Dinner!" Already? How long have I been out here? I spring up from the ground, and the grass springs up with me, one blade at a time. Boing, boink, boink. The sounds would be imperceptible to any normal person, but they tickle the insides of my ears. I picture an army of earthworms raising from the blades as spears spears in their turf wars and smile to myself. Dad opens the back door and calls to me again. "Come on, Alex, what's taking you so long?" Grabbing my cane, I shuffle over to the house, brushing past him as I squeeze inside. The kitchen reeks of fast food restaurants and movie theaters, butter and grease. That means it's breakfast for dinner. We do this every Sunday night because Mom goes out to garden club and Dad doesn't really know how to cook anything else. Besides, it's cheap. Breathing heavily, Dad plunks some food onto both our plates, and collapses into his chair. He groans, then asks me to pass the butter, or rather the butter. He grew up in Boston, and every once in a while the accent works itself into his speech. I slide the tub to Dad. He reaches out and stops it before it glides clear off the table. "What's this?" Dad asks. The butter? Obviously." Dad's voice raises an octave. "I know it's the butter, so don't get smart. Why'd you give it to me?" "Because you asked me to." "No, I didn't." He exhales, as if the wind has been knocked out of him by an ill-timed punch to the stomach. "Guess he must have read my mind or something." He chuckles to himself and slides the cool metal knife into the butter, then scrapes it across his toast. Dad and I don't usually talk to each other unless Mom's around asking about our days, chatting on, working hard to create those warm and fuzzy family moments we don't seem to create naturally. Even though Mom has reassured me 1,000,000 times, I know Dad resents me for being born blind. I can tell. He would much rather have a son, like Brady, the same guy who insists on making my high school experiences as difficult as possible. Ugh, Brady. I shiver at the thought of having to deal with him again tomorrow. Nothing's worse than knowing that your own father thinks you're a loser. Dad and I finish our meal in silence, and my mind wanders. He rises from his chair, breaking apart my thoughts. "Let's get this table clear before your mother gets home," he says, without pronouncing the R in cleared. I stand, too, and pick up my plate and glass. Guess I'll pass on that 5th biscuit. "Your mother has a surprise for you." I smile for Dad's benefit. My parents are horrible at keeping secrets. Last night I overheard them talking in their room. Mom was bragging about how she found some cute new shades on the Walmart's clearance sale. About 10 minutes later, the tires of Mom's van crunch on the gravel in our driveway, with lots of little pings and a big, let me see what it is, clunk. As usual, she steers directly into the pothole that we don't have the money to repair. Sometimes I wonder if she just does that on purpose. The door creaks open, inviting a comforting floral smell into the house. Mom always smells like flowers. Today it's tulips and jasmine. She tiptoes across the floor and places a wet kiss on my cheek. When she turns to greet Dad, I wipe at the leftover moistness with my shirt sleeve. I'm getting too old for this kind of thing. Been too old for a while now, actually, but it doesn't seem to matter to her. How was your day, my little sapling? She asks. I really wish she would stop calling me her little sapling. Hi, Mom. I hug her because it makes her happy. Are you excited for tomorrow? I snap my fingers, which is how I say yes without actually saying it. Kind of like how most people nod their heads. I'm excited to learn, to have something to do other than lie in the grass, and to possibly make a friend. More than likely, though, things won't change. I'll be an outcast. I'll still be all by myself, but at least I'll know where I'll stand. No more wondering. A sophomore already. I hope I can keep up. Enough to have, a sophomore already. I hope I can keep up enough to help you with your homework, Dad says, acting like a completely different person than he was a few minutes ago. He has this way of being nicer to me whenever Mom's around. I know it's for show, but it pisses me off. Ignoring him, I turn toward Mom. So, Dad told me you got a surprise for me. I'd rather get this over with long before they try too hard to build up the suspense. Oh, yes, she chirps, fluttering over to the other side of the living room, pulling out the drawer of the small table in the corner, rustling through the unpaid bills inside. She comes back over to me and places a small bag in my lap. Wait, Dad says, as my hand is about to reach inside. Before you open that, I just want to say that I know we haven't been able to give you as many back-to-school surprises as you needed this year, but your backpack is starting to tear, and your boots are scuffed, and I had no idea my boots were scuffed, but now that he's pointed it out, it's all I can think about. And all of this is my fault, Dad continues, as I wonder how badly my boots are scuffed. Where? On the heel? On the toe? Mom clicks her tongue and rubs Dad's shoulder sympathetically, dragging her fingernails across his thick shirt. The scratching sound draws my attention back to his melodramatic speech. And I wanted to make you a promise that as soon as I get a job, we are going to buy all of those things for you, okay? It's okay, Dad. I don't need anything except for you to be nice to me, even when Mom isn't around, and oh yeah, a friend or two. That's my brave little oak tree. Mom says, giving me another hug. I swear, sometimes I think she's just from another planet or something. Or at least another time period. Still, she loves me, even if she's constantly saying stupid things like that. When they seem to have nothing more to say, my left hand reaches into the bag and pulls out a pair of sunglasses. I run my right hand over them, trying to make out their shape. They've been hard plastic frames and cushiony rubber ends for where they seat on top of the ears. They're broad in front, and the rim goes in a straight line all the way across, about a half an inch above the nose piece. These aren't the normal bookworm glasses. They're cool guy glasses. We thought you deserved a pair of cool guy glasses since you're practically 16, Mom said. I hate when she uses the same words that I do. I make a mental note never to say or think the words cool guy glasses again. And they're even your favorite color, Mom shouts, unable to contain herself. Then they're green. I see color through my nose, and like most green things, because there's so many of the best smelling things, they're that hue, like the glasses, leaves, vegetables, and limes. But with green glasses, I'm afraid I'm going to stick out like a sore thumb. A sore green thumb. I smile and reach out my arm. Both my parents are in for a hug. I whisper a quick prayer for tomorrow and head to bed. The next morning, my alarm starts yelling at me at 6 o'clock. Is it excited or trying to give me a warning? Well, time to get up and time to get this over with. Time to see if this year will be any different from all the other crappy ones before. I reach over to flip the off switch, then stumble about in a sleepy haze, getting ready for the first day of the year of school. On the way to the bathroom, I stub my toe on some bulky object that's been sitting there in the middle of the hallway. Not even pushed up against the wall. I kick it to the side, clunk, straight into the wall, and continue to the bathroom. I shouldn't need my cane to get around my own house. That had to be something of Dad's. What? Is he actually trying to kill me now? I turn the shower knob and wait for the water to get warm. It's taking forever since the first day. And since I'm the first one up the hall to find the object again. Stooping down, I attempt to work out the shape of it. Rectangular with a handle made of leather or something leather, like with a little metal clasp. A briefcase, I guess. But Dad's a contractor, so why would he need a briefcase? Why now? I flip the clasp, eager to find out what's inside. The case doesn't open. I brush my fingers across the top again. I find a twisty, turny thing on either side. A combination lock? If it's so important, then why is it laying here in the middle of the hallway with a discarded sock? A wall of steam pushes into my back, calling my attention back to the running shower. I return the case to its original position in the middle of the hall, then go to wash up for school. Afterward, I towel off and put on my favorite shirt, which is soft and made of flannel. I wear my favorite pants too. They're baggy and big pocketed on either side. As I'm pulling them on, I feel a tickle at my ankles, where the hem rests. Okay, they're 2 full inches above where it should be. I've grown. I groan and then realize I must have grown over the summer. How much taller can I get? Am I really tall now? At least a couple of inches over 6 feet? But we just don't have the money to keep buying me new clothes every time I grow another inch. And then, to add the finishing touch to my first day of school, look, I slip on the new cool guy sunglasses on my nose. They are extra thick, probably because if I wanted, I could sleep in class, and then no teacher would ever notice. But I'm not like that. I like to learn. Honey, Mom calls from the end of the hall. Are you ready? Yeah, I'm coming, I yell. Just a sec. I fiddle with the bottom of my pants, and then I fiddle with my boots, trying to stuff my pants into them, so no one at school can see that they're too short. But I'm sure that this just makes me look even more like a teenage Paul Bunyan, more than usual, but I don't care. The boots are comfortable and they help support my ankles. Anyway, I could probably wear nothing but expensive designer clothes and then still be considered a freak. Before standing, I run my hands over my feet. The right boot has a long, narrow indentation about the toe. They are scuffed. Great. With a drawn-out sigh, I pick up my backpack and walk over to the kitchen, where Mom is waiting. She has way too much energy for this early in the day. Yogurt with berries, fresh from the garden, she says, placing a glass in my hand. You can eat in the car. Thanks, Mom. I jab a heaping spoonful into my mouth and finish it in about 5 huge bites. Then I grab my cane from the hook near the front door, loop the cord around my wrist. Is that what that's for? Loop the cord around my wrist and follow Mom out of the driveway. Out to the driveway where the old family van is parked. As she shifts the rattling car into drive, the sadness washes over me. I'm almost 16, but it's been a long time, and it's going to be a long time, if ever, before I ever get around by myself. I've heard rumors about a new technology thing that makes it possible for blind people to drive, but we'll never be able to afford it. Not yet, not anyway. Someday I'll make it out, and I'll make enough money on my own to be able to buy whatever I want, including a car. Until then, either my parents or public transportation is going to have to be able to remain my designated mode of travel. I just wish we had a bus system in this crappy small town. Mom drives the 12 minutes to school, talking nonstop about new beginnings and carefree happiness for youth. When the van stops, I take a deep breath, then wrap my fingers around the door handle, ready to find out what's in store for me this year at Grandin High. Hey, Alex? Mom stops me just as I'm about to make it out onto the concrete. I pause and wait. Have a good day at school. I will. Dad'll pick you up and bring you to the shop in the afternoon, okay? Okay, bye, Mom. The longer we draw this out, the longer and the higher the stakes are going to be, and the higher the chances of her kissing me on the head or calling me her little sapling. I just can't risk starting out this year on such an embarrassing note. I get out of the car and head straight inside the building. Mom always pulls up to the center of the walkway, which means that I just have to walk straight into the front door of the school. Dad just parks wherever there's space, and then leaves me to figure out where to go by myself. As I approach the high school, I hear a bunch of kids hanging around outside, chatting away about their summers, getting back into the swing of things. They don't notice me as I slink by and make my way to the first hour English class. I memorize the location of my classes during the summertime, and so that way I won't embarrass myself by getting lost or arriving after the bell rings. Entering the classroom, I drop my backpack on the floor and plop my cane into a seat. On the desk, and so that way it's near hand and easy to get for when I need it. Nobody else is here, not even the teacher. Bored already, I decide to go and have a drink from the water fountain. As I'm rounding the corner of the familiar hallway, the air gets heavy like it does after a rainstorm. The aroma of wet grass and asphalt overpowers my senses. This definitely seems out of place for a high school hallway. Hey, Alex. How is it today? Dad asks, sounding in a much better mood than usual. I turn around in shock. What is my dad doing here? Mom just dropped me off. Dad should be in bed still, not here at school embarrassing me. Dad? I asked tentatively. Dad, what are you doing here? I'm not your daddy, you know-eyed freak, comes the voice of Brady Evans, the running back of the school's junior varsity football team, and my biggest enemy. The air becomes lighter again, and It's like a vacuum cleaner has sucked up all the humidity. The fragrance of sweat and Axe body spray fills my nose instead. I'm totally confused now. Brady? No, it's your daddy, loser. Laughter comes from at least 6 different people, most of whom are girls. Sorry, I mumble and head back to English. Head back to English class, forgetting to get my drink of water. Brady and his entourage follow me in, making jokes at my expense. I put my head down on my desk, wishing I was a chameleon so I could become one of the furniture and fade out of view. Being a reptile couldn't be much worse than having to endure high school. Mr. Cosmetors, could you please come here? The teacher calls, butchering the pronunciation of my name. It's Casmitoras. Actually, I respond, getting up and walking over to the teacher's desk at the front of the room. Brady and his friends are still laughing. I hope they're moved on to a new topic. I hope they've moved on to a new topic. Not all of your textbooks for the year have come in yet. So we're starting out using a basic reader, but that hasn't shipped. So you're going to have to take good notes, she says, plopping a series of thick books into my hands. Then we'll move on to the Odyssey, and then finally Romeo and Juliet. I have the first several volumes of the Odyssey for you now, and I'm storing the rest in my supply closet until you need them. Oh. So that basic reader should be in by the end of the week, okay? Okay, thanks, I mutter and head back to my seat. I begin skimming the Odyssey, flipping through the several pages at once, trailing my fingers over random little snippets of text. Since no school around here caters specifically to visually impaired kids, my teachers have to special order textbooks in Braille for me, and most of the time the books come in at least 6 volumes. That's the only exceptions that I really need to get by, though. Except, for a few limitations, I can do anything other kids my age can do. I've been this way my entire life. My whole life. I know how to make it work. Bit by bit, the other students trickle into the classroom. Someone who smells like sherry candy sits down across the room. Then a series of loud thuds comes from that direction. She must have dropped her books. Simmy, jeez, don't make so much noise, says some boy who sounds a bit like Brady, but I don't think is Brady. I don't know anybody named Simmy, so this girl must be a new student. Why is this boy being so mean to her already? Hope rises within me. Maybe she'll be an outcast, too. The two of us could maybe the two of us could team up. The bell rings, taking away the cherries. I don't pay any attention to the teacher as she introduces her to the class. Instead, I think about the strange things that have been happening today. What was in that briefcase in the hall this morning? And why couldn't I open it? Why did I think Brady Evans was my dad? Why do we have to read Romeo and Juliet this year in English class? We're less than 5 minutes into first period, and my hopes for the year are already pretty much dashed.